Okay, so the very next thing that we need to do out here in the aquarium gallery is actually quite simple. Take some masking tape, and what I want to do here is mark off on the floor where aquariums are going to go. This will give us a good idea of the flow of the building, what things are going to look like, and we can start to visualize everything. As well as, you know, we need to build the stands and everything, and the stands can just go right on top of the tape. Well, we'll probably pull the tape up, etc. But one of the things that I thought, oh, you guys should see this first. So when you first come in the gallery, you'd be looking through these doors, right? I was thinking about having, if you can still hear me, like a visual block. One of the tanks come out from the wall there, and one over here. So here's what I was thinking. We should probably place the 700 gallon down first, and we have to keep it in line with, where are you? Over this way? No, everything's backwards in the camera. That, I seriously can't point at it. That thing is the support beam. That entire thing, that outcrop there, comes all the way down and through the floor. So we have to make sure that when we place the 700, that it straddles that metal H beam. So the biggest and heaviest aquarium needs to straddle it. That tank is 8 feet long and 5 feet wide, so these measurements will be pretty straightforward. I don't expect this to be exact, like maybe the tape will be a little bit crooked, but obviously the tanks won't be. I'm gonna line it up with this wall. Yeah, tank placement and how many tanks and how much weight's going to be able to go on these floors is going to have everything to do with what a structural engineer approved of, not our opinions. As fish keepers, we would jam this place top floor to ceiling, and the floors would cave in. Funny to joke about, but if there's people on it, kill them. You need to be relatively careful. Man, this tank, check this out. It doesn't look that big now it's in here. But check that out. That doesn't look nearly as big now that it's on the floor. But as you can see, as you walk in the front doors to the left, and this will come up so you won't actually, I mean, it's going to be 5 feet tall total, but that'll be stingrays when you walk in. Another tank that I was thinking about doing is placing one of the 180s outcropping from here. Again, I got to make sure I'm straddling supports and whatnot and beams, so all of this is planned out specifically. Let me lay down 6 tanks. All right, got it all marked out. I'd be lying if I said taping this was easy. I just did the main aquariums that I'm guaranteed and I know that I can have based off of what the structural engineer said and where things need to be placed. For example, this beam here runs all, this is the biggest beam, runs all along here. So it's gonna pass right through the middle of that 700 and come through here, go up through the stairs, etc. But then there's a beam along this wall and then a few feet out another beam. So all of these tanks are along beams. I believe this one's on a beam. I have to go over the plans again and make sure, double check of everything, but we'll start from the beginning, give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. So, and this is just the main aquariums. This isn't the final thing. This is just like to get a basic idea of what things are going to look like. Mind you, we're gonna have leaves and trees growing everywhere, not real trees, but you know, stumps. Okay, let me walk in to the left, stingrays. This tank is 700 gallons, 5 feet by 8 feet. Probably the biggest I can have on a second floor without, you know, spending $20,000 to $40,000 reinforcing it to do the entire building. That's what a lot of people want me to do. Maybe someday, not today. All of these are 180 gallons, so they are 6 feet long by 2 feet wide, 2 feet tall. When you walk in, I thought, and this is like 6 feet of space in between, so it's not like it's crowded. I wanted to kind of have a visual block from the utility room and the closet and security system, etc. So this here is going to be the Oscar tank, 180 gallon with 6 Oscars. I think that'll be pretty cool. Water puppies as soon as you walk in. It'll get so many kids excited. Stingrays, and then these 5, in no particular order. We're doing a piranha tank with 30 piranha. We'll do a South American theme. We'll do a Central American theme. We'll do an Asian theme, Australian theme. And then right here, notice how this one is way bigger than this. Well, it's 2 feet longer and 3 feet and a foot wider. because that is where my 375 gallon is going to go. It currently houses my saltwater tank, but I'm putting the Asian arowana in it, and he's going to go in there by himself. The reason why he's up against this is because if I did a peninsula like this, he's probably going to get a little scared and scatter around a little bit. And I want to keep him so that he only sees the front. The back will be painted. This is the best location for him. And it's actually a cool location as well because it's off to the side. It's not in direct walking path. A lot of things need to be considered. And so yeah, I think that's going to be the best spot for him. Plus we still have about 6 feet or 7 feet in between these two corners here. As we turn around, these are all 180s lining up here. I got to make sure and double check that I can have these here. As far as I remember, I was right. These are actually where beams are located. Look. So that's a beam, and then over here, about 4.5 feet is another one, et cetera, et cetera. It keeps going. So these are all 180s. Again, going with geographical themes and locations. All of these are going to be like biotypes. I think you guys are really going to like them. In between each one, a 4-foot-long bench at the back, sitting against the wall, bench there. In terms of here, I'd like to have a long bench here and a long bench there, so you can actually sit and enjoy the aquariums. And then over here, this is for 120s. This will be all saltwater, I believe. Where we'll have Kevin, we'll have a reef, and we'll have maybe the clownfish. I'm not sure what we'll do there for sure. And this area is up in the air right now, simply because I have big plans for right around here. It's not a fish tank, but I want to have like just like activities and hands-on things that people can actually do when here that I think that they'll find incredibly inspiring. But let's go up top here so you guys can get oh, and I also did the reptile room. We'll get there in a minute. But let's go upstairs and get a bird's eye view of what it'll look like. Maybe you guys will have a better idea. But yeah, that looks really, really good. So 375, 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, 700, 180s here, 120s there. Notice that there's plenty of space for walking. Humans have to be able to get in here and actually be able to move around. And this is just the main aquatic floor. I want to kind of talk about in between is a 38 inches in between each tank, which is 3 feet. To put it that in perspective, most doorways, like for example, I don't know, into a bathroom door or a closet door, those are usually anywhere between 32 to 38 inches. So it's plenty of walking space in between where you can literally walk through and enjoy each aquarium from multiple angles. Actually, you know what would be really cool is if once these are all filled up, and these will all be 5 feet tall, so that they're viewing height for pretty much anybody, but it'd be pretty cool to look through them all once they're all filled. This is only about 4 feet of space in between these two, but I'm going to put a gate there so nobody can actually come back here. What else do we look at? Yeah, in behind there's a secret so far. I don't know for sure what we're doing. Well, I do know, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag until it's guaranteed for sure. Now you guys will get an idea of just how big these cages are going to be. On this side, we have about 3 feet of walking space. In between, we have 4 feet. Even though they look the same, it's not. So we have about 3 feet in between to be able to enter the cage. And I think we'll put the doors on either side. 4 feet in between. This cage is 8 by 8 by 7. It's 7 feet tall, 8 feet long, 8 feet wide. This one's 10 feet long, 8 feet wide, and going to be 7 feet tall. Absolutely enormous. But we've got to give it like a jungle theme and put some, plants and flowers. I've got to put a door on here. I mean, we're looking at an empty building, and I'm trying to get you guys to help, visualize with me. And this is one of the most difficult things when tackling something like this, is you enter an empty building, and if you don't have that type of imagination or experience or the ability to kind of visualize how things could be, then this seems an insurmountable task. But as soon as I walked in here, I knew where these were all going to be. And I'd also like to say that that's not the first time I laid these down. In fact, I already did it, and it was one of the first things I did. I had to. I wanted to see. I was too excited. I wanted to see where everything was going to go. But for everything on the floor that's taped, besides that, I have to build a stand. I have to build 12, 10, 11, 14 stands. And they're not like 10-gallon stands. These are 120 to 375-gallon stands. But the benefit to that is they will all be identical. I'm going to build them out of 2x6s. 2x6s. And then I'm going to wrap it and paint it. There will be no filtration underneath. There will be nothing that can leak. Filtration will be built into every aquarium besides the 375. But I'm even contemplating how I want to do that. I might do an overhead filter because I have so much space over here. Like, who knows what I could potentially do. But yeah, no leaks, no issues, nothing like that. All internal filtration, easy to maintain, incredibly efficient. Yeah, I think you guys are really going to like this. This is one of the things that I do. And honestly, I spend a lot of time, and sometimes things will look like they're not getting done, but I'm excited. It's because I just spend a lot of time walking around and looking and seeing how things feel when you walk through a certain area. This all sounds so silly, but what's it like when, if I could pretend, what is it like, what's it going to be like to walk, not only walk in the building, but like, can I touch these things? I want this lined up a certain way. I want to be able to actually walk through. Do I need benches? Where should the benches go? And yes, I want a bench right here sitting in front of the 375, but I could also sit this way and do those three. Then another bench right over here. Boom. Benches in between those tanks. Probably a bench over there. I'd also like to figure out if these tanks are going over here for sure. And that's a thing that I've got to toy with in my mind, is that I'd love to be able to do presentations and potentially do hands-on with some of the reptiles and whatnot. And I'd like to potentially, and one of the things I'm thinking of, I was thinking of not putting the 120s there, and I was going to do like stadium benching, not stadium, but like circular, semicircular, like a horseshoe bench, so everybody can sit there and then presentation in the center. But I don't see why we can't do it the opposite, where there's benches here that can be put away, and then the backdrop is the aquariums. I don't know. Like little things like that I gotta figure out, but I do know for sure the 180s, the 700, and the 375 are all guaranteed placement. In fact, they have to kind of go in those locations, which is perfectly fine. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, just a quick and dirty video for you guys. I know it's like sometimes people just want to see the fish tank in there. Like, that's impossible to do right now, and it's going to take time. It could be, another month before I get all these tank stands built. Maybe I could do it in less than a week, but we'll see what happens there. All those stands get built and in place, then start wrapping them, get the tanks on them. I think the tanks will be here in like a month. Anywhere between, a couple weeks or 6 weeks, something like that. I already have the 700, but I got to get rid of the Oscar tank in the basement first so I can put down the pool so that the rays and everybody can live in there for a few days, or if not a couple of weeks while I move the 700. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and I'm going to bring you guys along for all of it. One of the things that I want to do, though, is just be a little more conscientious of how these videos are coming together and going together, because a lot of the times the title doesn't necessarily, it only like matches a part of the video where I'm showing you so many things, and it's really hard for people to find everything I've ever talked about because they got to dig through old videos and maybe find it, etc. But I'd like to have videos a little bit more categorized, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm thinking about so many things. I'm gonna get internet in here and I can start editing and making videos properly instead of running here, making the video, running home, editing it, figuring out blah blah blah, etc., etc. But yeah. Oh, and in between here, these blocks are 1 foot, so we have almost 4 feet in between here as well. These are things that you kind of want to look at, and I think it's just so cool to, when you come out of the bathrooms, for example, you just have a tank right here as a divider. You go in here, a bench there if you want to chill. 2-3 people could sit on that. I would say 2 people. I'm going to put 4-foot benches in between the tanks. Oh, and this door, of course, once it opens, I know what people are going to say, like, oh, that's going to hit the door. I've been doing this a long time, guys. I'll just put a stopper on the floor. I realize that those things can happen. I always make sure that hits the stand, or I'll put a simple block of wood drilled into the ground. Not a big deal. Yeah, I think this is going to be awesome. I think you guys are really going to like it and enjoy it. But let's do one little walkthrough. Sorry for bringing you guys through all this stuff. This is the type of stuff that I personally nerd out about, is like, okay. I'll tell you one thing that I do, but you can't like make fun of me for it. When I complete something, like I did the entrance, when it's done, I need to pretend like it's the first, like I'll go all the way outside, down the ramp, and then I'll come back in and see what it looks like, and then I'll come in from a different angle and I'll see what it like. I love doing it over and over and over again. So this is really important to me when you walk in, just to kind of get an idea of what everything's going to look like and feel like and laid out. And mind you, I mean, imagine if we only had like 10 people doing a tour at once. We need places for them to be able to stand. I can't be having too many tanks in here, but we can't have not a lot either. I want everything to be meaningful. We're going to have 10 biotypes. We'll have themed aquariums like the Stingray Aquarium, the Asian Arowana Aquarium. We're going to have the Piranha tank. We'll have the Oscar tank, and then we'll have all of the themed tanks, like, and then saltwater over here, of course. Got to incorporate salt. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Tanks will be heated individually as well, so we're not going to be in here sweltering to death, or, too hot, too cold type deal. It'll be room temperature, and then the tanks will be individually heated, properly covered. No worries about humidity, although we do have plenty of ventilation everywhere throughout here, and I'm most likely going to install a couple of massive air exchangers. I'm probably going to hang it like pretty straightforward. I might even build it into the forced heat. Who knows? But lots to think about, lots to consider. The next big thing out here, though, is I'm probably going to have to get the wood to start building the stands. In fact, I probably need to get back upstairs and finish off the studio and all that, so I can actually come in here and work and get things done. But this place, I'm telling you, we're like a week into this, and I feel like I'm at least a month ahead of schedule. Let's go back upstairs and have one more peek, and then I'll let you guys go. Sorry about this, but if you guys are ever, when you come, it's going to be like this. I'm going to be hands-on, bringing you through everything, showing you everything. And the thing is like, so I have a background in sales, and the more you do something and the more and more repetitive and practice you have explaining something, you become better and better and better at it. So over weeks, over months of doing the same tours over and over and over, they're only going to get better and better and better until I perfect it. So I'm excited about that. But the first ones to come will get the most rawest experience. So, and it will be you guys. This won't be open to the public immediately. It'll be open to subscribers first. Well, members only first, and then general subscribers. And then I'll open it to the public. Isn't this cool, though? Man. Let's check it out from this side if we can. If it does see any tanks. I was thinking about knocking this wall out so I could see, but I think a better idea would just be able to knock this wall out, build a bridge over to there, finish the ceiling there, and have like a little platform. Oh man. Yeah. This is fun. This is gonna be awesome. And once everything's not so hectic out here, I'm going to increase the production quality of my videos, and it's not going to be this run and gun style as much anymore. Be able to actually produce a good video. But I definitely got to pick up the pace with you guys. I know that I've only been I put like 2 videos out on this place so far. But I mean, I don't want to make a video of, okay, this wall's painted. See you guys in the next video. Oh, next video we painted that wall. I'm not going to do that to you. Even though it was a ton of work, and I'll just do general updates on that type of thing. But when it comes to the actual aquariums, we'll definitely be showing everything. Yeah, this is awesome. Definitely need a door on this. This is a weird dimensions too. It's like under 7 feet, and it's 4 feet wide. And then thickness, it's almost 3. Like, it's such a weird. Oh, and in here, listen, I echo in here. Different acoustics than out here. In the main room, we don't really echo at all. Once we get tanks and everything in here as well, filling up the space. Of course, having the drop ceiling as well as the padded flooring absorbs the sounds. Okay, that's it. I'm literally in here all alone, getting to tell people for the first time, about what's going on out here. It's just exciting to me and really fun. And I'm really pumped. I'm not looking forward to building stands. Heck, maybe I should start reaching out to you guys to come and help me build these stands. Although, you know, I only got one saw, so I'll be cutting them up and then screwing them together. It's not that big of a deal. It's just very, very repetitive and monotonous. And I've got, what, 10, 12 videos showing you how to build aquarium stands already. Hope you like how to build tank stands, because we're going to be building a lot. I'll try to do them all in one video or something. I won't drag 15 stands out on a video. Maybe I should, though. No. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one.